Good evening, Professor Joseph Andresen with my informative speech on knife safety. This is my audience, my lovely wife Adrian, and my equally lovely mother-in-law, Angelina, who agreed to sit torturous 5 minutes and watch me talk about something they already know about. But it's okay. My wife's married to an up-and-coming chef, so she's got to know all these things. I have a stopwatch here. I'm going to time myself, hopefully. I'll have it within the 5 minutes that you requested. The time begins right now. Good evening. I'd like to talk to you about proper knife handling and safety in the kitchen. The knife skills that we all have were taught to us by our parents, for the most part. We were taught these knife skills by our parents so that we could sit at the table and eat our dinner. By holding the fork in one hand with the finger on the back of the fork, we're able to hold our food down in place so it doesn't move. And then our parents taught us to hold the handle of the knife and place the index finger on the heel or the back of the blade, giving us control for cutting our food. Now, even though this is proper etiquette at the dinner table, this is an extremely dangerous way to hold the knife in the kitchen. Allow me to show you why. This is a chef knife, one that I use at Kaiser University, part of my culinary training. And if I hold that knife the same way I hold the dinner knife, using the same etiquette, what happens is when I press down, when I apply pressure here, you see that I'm not doing this on purpose. It's the natural tendency of my wrist to twist, and the blade is slipping out. Let me show you the most common grip that most chefs use by grabbing the handle of the knife with the 3 fingers and placing the thumb on this side of the blade, and then placing the index finger curled on this side of the blade, actually pinching the blade. I am now holding the blade in a very firm and safe way. In fact, if I let go with these fingers, this blade goes nowhere. I'm still in control. And by holding it this way, I am in complete control of this knife, no matter how much pressure I apply. Excuse the noise. I will not lose control of this knife. My wrist doesn't turn, and I am in complete control. So, if I was to take an item to cut, and when you're cutting also too, your other hand is very important for safety. You need to curl your fingers like a bear claw and just hold your food like this. This way, the knife is actually resting against your knuckles and you're guiding it. So you never have to worry about cutting anything except the carrot or whatever food item it is that you're cutting. The carrot stays orange and doesn't turn red. That's a good thing, especially in a stew or something when you're having people over. They don't want to see that. Anyway, now that I've showed you the proper grip, the most common grip that chefs use, and the proper way to hold your knife in the kitchen so that you'll be safe, I'd like to talk to you about a couple of more safety tips. As I'm bringing up my little board here, I want to talk to you. I want you to know that it is extremely important in the kitchen for you to concentrate on what you're doing. Never lose concentration. The most important rule of knife safety is that you are absolutely in control of what you're doing and know what you're doing. And these other little rules that I have written up here, easy to follow, is use the correct knife for the task at hand. Always cut away from yourself, never toward yourself. Always cut on a cutting board, never on glass, marble, or metal. They could dull your knives. They could also cause an accident with a slick surface. Place a damp cloth under your cutting board, which I did here. Gives your cutting board stability. It won't slide away from you. Keep your knife sharp. A dull knife is a dangerous knife because if it's dull, you have to apply more pressure to do the job, and the potential for an accident is increased greatly. When carrying a knife, hold it point down, parallel, and close to your leg so that you don't hurt anyone else as you're walking through the kitchen. A falling knife has no handle. Don't try to catch a falling knife. If a knife is falling, back up and let it go. Pick it up off the floor. This way you can pick it up with all of your fingers instead of just a few of them. And never ever leave a knife in a sink of water. Anyone reaching into that water could injure themselves. And the knife could also be damaged by pots or other utensils that are left in the water. So now that we've looked at these features of correct knife holding and procedure and safety tips in the kitchen, we understand better that the grip that we have gives us better control. We know that the control makes it easier and we can do our jobs quicker. But also, too, we have safety tips now that we can follow. And now that we know the proper holding technique for a knife, and now that we know that holding the knife correctly will give us more control in what we're doing, as long as we're concentrating and following these simple safety rules, if we practice these rules, we can look forward to many, many happy meals and absolutely no trips to the emergency room. I hope you received some good knowledge from this today. Thank you very much.
Enough time?
4:55.
Good. 4:55. Holy cow.
4 minutes and 55 seconds.
Talk yourself to bed tonight.